Hello, we are live with Project Chimps. It's Go Ape Bingo tonight with Jolene Goodall.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Hi,
I missed you all.
Jolene. You've
Hello,
been on
Holly.
safari. It's good to see you.
Yes, I know we've been gone for a few months. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, I hate taking a vacation, but I like going on one. So, and several people have mentioned they've really missed us the last couple of months, and I appreciate that. In particular, I want to give a shout out to Sarah Binkowitz. She loves our game, and she's really missed it the last couple of months. But particularly, I want to mention Sarah because congratulations to Sarah for her personal accomplishments. Yeah, she's had some real great success at work, and we love to hear that. Well, Sarah, we're back and we're ready to go. And in fact, I brought Ima back with me too. Ima's here. Ima's going to help with the balls like she always does.
Yay.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. But Ima went with me. We were on safari. I have been a self-proclaimed primatologist for quite some time now. Once Jane got involved, I realized I didn't want to miss out on all the fun. But as I've mentioned before, Jane was she took the easy route. She went straight to Africa. That's where the chimpanzees are, and that's wonderful. But I thought, what about all the underserved chimpanzee communities? So I've been out looking for other chimps. And this time we went over to, the Pacific Northwest, didn't we, Ima? Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we looked for chimps there. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later and show you what I found. Yes, it's amazing, really. Yeah, it's amazing how few chimps there are. But nonetheless, I'm so glad to be back here for bingo. I hope you all are too. I hope we got a lot of you out there. It's not too late if you haven't joined the Go Ape Social Bingo. I know it's there in the comments, so if you're not sure, sign up so you can actually play with us. And don't forget to have your cocktail ready because it's not bingo without a cocktail, is it, Holly? There you go. Yeah, we're all ready to go. I like to keep a little extra on the side just in case. Yeah. If you don't have your banana flask already, you want to check in with our gift shop and get yourself one. I'll expect to see all of them on you next month. Okay. So, Holly, how about we go ahead and describe how bingo goes for the. Oh, yes, good. Let's let them know where to go shopping. That's great. But I thought we should go over how bingo goes for those people that have never played bingo before, both of them. So remember, folks, we're playing bingo. It's right there on your card. You've got 3 cards. See those tabs that the arrows point to? Those are your 3 cards, so don't forget to tab between them because you might win on one card but not another. So you want to tab in between. Now, our first game is just going to be straight bingo, and you all remember how that goes for those of you that are straight, and the rest of us have figured it out. That's up and down, side to side, or on diagonal. And don't forget that free space, that circle there. That's free. So you don't have to worry about that one. It's free. You can mark it whenever you want. So otherwise, you're just trying to make a line. Yep. And once you've made a line, there's the different types up and down and diagonally and to the side. Once you've got a whole line filled in, of course, you hit the I've got bingo button there at the bottom. Yeah. And if you don't have it, it won't let you. So don't worry. There's no problem. We will not make fun of you if you hit it a little prematurely. It happens to the best of us. But if you do hit it and you do have it, you're going to win one of our fabulous prizes for tonight. Yeah. And we'll put that up on the screen. Our first prize is going to be the Racerback tank top with the wonderful Project Chimps logo. Because remember, folks, the main reason we're here is to raise money for Project Chimps. Yeah, Project Chimps is very important to these poor chimpanzees that have to be retired. Yeah, they've got to have their forever home, and that's what we're providing. So please don't forget to donate. You can go to our website, or right there at the bottom of your card, there's a spot where you can hit donate. Now, I have a special request with that too. Because we've just brought over some new chimpanzees to the sanctuary, we've been doing a promotion for the last month. Some of you may have heard of our Walk Like a Chimp. Walk Like a Chimp is a thing we've been doing to raise money for the distance those chimps had to travel to us. And you can see a link right there to Charity Footprints Walk Like a Chimp. Of course, you're going to want to donate to Jolene's team, right? We are so close to 4th place, and you can push us over the edge. So be sure to donate to my team. But honestly, donate to Chimps in any way you can, because that's really going to help. Okay. You have till midnight tonight to help with Walk Like a Chimp, but your donations are accepted year round in any other form too. Okay. So, Ima, anything you want to add before we get started on our first game today?
We saw lots of animals on our
did.
safari.
We did. Yes, and we're gonna show you a few of them too.
And it was chilly and wet.
It was chilly and wet. For those chimps that don't like the hot afternoon sun in Africa, we thought we might encounter a few. We will find out. Now, in the comment section, there's a more elaborate link to my team, so you can donate directly to us, because who wouldn't want to? Who wouldn't? I can't imagine.
And I'm on Jolene's team as well.
Yes, Ima's been helping.
So please
Not
donate.
very much, but she's been helping. Yeah. That's why we're still in 5th, but that's okay. All right, Ima, I think it's time for our first game of bingo, don't you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, guys, let's not delay any further. We got plenty to tell you about later, but let's get going and see who can win that racerback tank top. Ima, give us our first one.
Your first ball is I-22.
I-22. Well, give them a couple more, because that's not going to get them there yet.
Your next ball is N38.
N38, everybody. N38. One more, Ima.
And your next ball is O66.
O66. Oh, dear. Now, you'll all remember that in our first game, we like to highlight the chimpanzees that are having birthdays this month. And since we just had an O, I will let you know that our O chimp for the month is Kirk. Kirk is our O chimp. Now, Kirk, there he is. Isn't he adorable? Of course he is. Well, now, Kirk, he had a birthday. Well, he has a birthday later in the month. His birthday is on the 27th of July. Yeah, so Kirk was actually one of our older chimps. He was born in 1985 on July 27th, as I've mentioned. And he's been with us here at Project Chimps since November of 2019. He's been here for a little while. So that's Kirk. We'll learn a little bit more about him as his numbers come up. Right, Ima? What do you think of Kirk? Isn't he a cutie?
He's got the gray beard, too.
I know. It's like he knows you. Okay. Well, let's give him another number, shall we?
Your next ball is B8.
B8. B8. Yes. So B8 would be our B chimp, and our B chimp is Jacob, because, Jacob ends with a B. There's Jacob. He's a cutie, too. He's a little bit younger. Yeah, Jacob was born on July 1st, so he has already celebrated his birthday, and he is now 12 years old because he was born 2010. Yeah, so that's Jacob. He's also been with us a little longer, actually, than Kirk. He came in March of 2018. Yeah, so there's Jacob. He's a cutie. We'll tell you what he wants from his wish list a little later on. Okay, Ima, let's give him one or two more.
Your next ball is G52.
G52, everybody. Mm-hmm.
And your next ball is G57.
G57. Oh, my goodness. G57. Well, I guess it goes without saying it's time for a G chimp then. Our G chimp this month is Danner. Danner chimp. Yes. So Danner was born on July 25th, but 2009. So he's just a little bit older than Jacob is, but he's still a young guy. You can kind of tell by looking at him. He's a little younger. He's a little playful. Yep, that's it, Ima. Yeah, he likes to stick his tongue out because he's a playful guy. Yeah, he joined us the same time as Jacob, actually, back in March of 2018. So then more about Danner in a minute. Anybody close yet? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Okay.
Bueller.
Let's go ahead and give him another number, shall we?
Your next ball is B15.
B15, everybody. Jacob 15. Let's give him one more, Ima.
Remember to check all three of your cards.
Right. Yes, you've got three
cards.
Opportunities there. 3 cards.
Your next ball is O67.
O67. O67. All right. Let's hear it for O67. And of course, O is Kirk. Our Kirk chimp is our O chimp. Now, Kirk chimp, he is the leader of his group, and he takes his job very seriously. He likes to drum on the big hanging mirror we have in the habitat. He likes to drum on that to let the other males know he wants to know what they're up to out there in the habitat. And they better respond because he gets upset if they don't check in with him. Yeah, Kirk's a good leader, and he keeps everybody in line, make sure they're all safe. Okay, Ima, let's give him another one.
Your next number is I30.
I30. Well, we haven't introduced our I chimp yet, so now's a good time. Latricia is our I chimp. Miss Latricia, Oh, also a beauty. Yes, also a beauty. Now, her birthday was also on July 1st, so she has already celebrated. She was born in 2003, so she's a little bit older than the boys we just met. Now, Latricia joined us here at Project Chimps a little earlier, though. She came in September of 2016, so she's really got the lay of the land. She's getting a little relaxed. So relaxed, in fact, that she was the first chimp to climb a tree at Project Chimps. Yes, she was. Yeah, those chimps had not been out a lot before. So for many of them, it was a little intimidating, but not for Latricia. She went straight up the first tree she could find. She just loved it. Mm-hmm. How about you, Irma? Do you like to climb a tree from time to time?
I like to climb a tree now and then.
Okay. I understand you were first found on a tree.
I know, but then it was violently ripped off.
Oh, my.
And
Oh,
the
my.
whole-
Was it a
and
mugging?
The whole bunch of us were not happy.
Oh, dear. So it was a mass mugging.
It was a mass mugging on a bunch.
Okay. Well, mighty fine black tarantula. That's all I have to say. Okay. Let's have another number, shall we?
Your next ball is B2.
B2, everybody. B2. Jacob 2. Jacob 2. Now, you know, Jacob likes to play with plastic trucks. It's true. That's his toy of choice. You know, because he's a big old boy. That's why. And, you know, boys like those trucks. Well done, Jacob. You enjoy any toy you want. Apparently, Jacob's quite a smarty, so he enjoys the toys and the enrichment. Yeah. Let's give him another number. And I need a drink.
Does he like Hot Wheels?
I don't know. I think he likes the bigger Tonka plastic trucks. You know, you can donate toys to our chimps too. Yeah, and stuffies.
All right. Your next ball is I-23.
I-23. I-23. Latricia 23. Now, Latricia, as I mentioned, likes to climb trees, but I should mention something very important. All of our chimps have special things they really enjoy that we like to get you to help us to donate, or just donate money and we'll go get it for them. Latricia loves applesauce. Yes, she's a fan of the applesauce. We use that in a lot of their enrichment. Sometimes we mix it with peanut butter, which sounds unusual, but it's really quite delicious. I tried it once. Yeah, I had trouble getting the toy open, but I tried some. So Latricia would love some applesauce. If you want to go to our wish list and order some for her and send it, or if you're in the area, you know, maybe you can bring us some things for the chimps. That's okay too. We take donations on the front porch at the guardhouse. Yeah. Yes, Ima.
So, Jolene, do you get a lot of applesauce in your senior meals at IHOP?
Oh, well, yes. And, you know, I get it at half price, too. That's the best part. And I'm counting the number of brown spots. I'm pretty sure you get the discount meal, too, don't you? Yeah, it's great. I mean, if you're not there yet, guys, check it out. It's just what you want at a fair price. Speaking of fair price, our wish list has some wonderful things at very reasonable prices. And it's a great way to donate to the chimps because then you know it's a very specific thing you've sent them. You know that Latricia is just enjoying that applesauce that you sent. And the other guys, too, will tell you what they're looking for, too. So if you've got a particular cutie you like, you can send him or her a special treat. Okay. Well, let's give him another one, shall we?
Your next ball is N45.
N45, yes, N45. Let's give him another one.
Your next ball is I-29.
I-29. N45, I-29. Isn't bingo fun? Now, you know, you and I, we hadn't been doing this for a while. So guys, what we did is on Tuesday, there was another wonderful organization called PALS. Pets Are Loving Support here in Atlanta area. And they had a bingo game. So we thought, well, we know bingo. Let's go and see what happens. So we went to their bingo game and it was quite entertaining. If you are ever in the Atlanta area on the first Tuesday, you can join them live for their bingo. Now, I won $100 and they thought, what a great idea for you to donate it back to PALS. It did seem like a good idea, but I decided that Project Chimps could probably use it better. Yeah. So thank you, PALS, for helping Project Chimps. And Erica Lee that hosts there, she's fabulous. I'm hoping we're trying to work it out so she can join us on our bingo one night too. Yeah, because she's a stellar little host. And she's been working and helping PALS for a long time. And we like to support any organization that is helping needy animals of any type. So yeah, give to all of your charities and sanctuaries, but us first, of course, us first. Okay, let's give them another number, shall we?
Your next ball is I-16.
I-16. Latricia, 16. You know, Latricia's the oldest in her group. Yeah, she is. She's the oldest in her group, which has put her in a role of leadership, really. But Latricia's very fair and protective of the folks in her group. She's a smart girl, and she's very friendly and kind of easygoing. So she makes for a fairly good leader with her within her social structure. Yes, she does. And the other gals like her quite a lot. I understand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's give them another number. Yeah, we can't spotlight just Latricia.
Your next ball is N34.
N34. N34. Oh, our N chimp for this month. Our N chimp is Tristan. Now, don't make the mistake that I sometimes do. Tristan is a lovely young lady, and Tristan was actually born on July 2nd of 2009. So she's only about 13 at this point, just had her most recent birthday. I guess that would make her 14, really. Yeah, so she's 14 now. And she joined us in August of 2018. She's been with Chimps for a little while now. So there's Miss Tristan. She's got a lovely, lovely coat. Can you see how rich and nice it is? That's because of all the wonderful enrichment treats and chow that she gets. So we're good to see her looking healthy, like we like all our chimps to be. Mm-hmm. So feel free to, donate to keep them healthy and on the best possible nutritional plan. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is she getting a quinceañera?
I know, right? It's about that time. We've got to find a dress she likes. And that's always the tricky part. That's always the tricky part. Mm-hmm. We'll see what she thinks. I don't know what her cultural beliefs are, but I don't think she'd object to a party, quite frankly. Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves a party.
Everybody loves a party. Okay, well, let's get another number out there because I haven't heard from any of you that you're close, that you need a particular one. So, Ima, what do you think?
Your next number is G51.
G51, everybody. G51. Well, now I say I haven't heard from y'all, but Justin Ape did mention a quick hello out to me, and I appreciate that, Justin Ape. It's good to see you here. And we also have an ape that comments everywhere with us. I appreciate to see you all here. I think you might be the same person. I'm just guessing. Anyway, we just love to see everybody in the chat. Please do go ahead and get in that chat just to say hello. Let us know what things you've sent to the chimps in the past or are planning on sending in the future. And just let us know if there's a particular number you need Ima to sneak out of the basket for you. Yeah. For the right donation, we will throw it your way. Yeah, we are not shy. No. Okay, Ima, give them another number, shall ya?
Your next number is B7. B7.
B7. B7. Isn't that a vitamin? B7.
It's like B12.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's a vitamin.
Only 5 less. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, give them another number.
Your next ball is I27.
I27. Latricia 27. Yeah, I27. Okay, let's give them one more, shall we?
Your next number is I17.
I17. So it's another Latricia. Well, in that case, I'd better mention one thing about Latricia. She likes to build the most elaborate nests and have a nice little easygoing nap in them. She likes to weave her blankets and some of the other goodies she has, sometimes through the toys, sometimes through the mesh. She just makes the most comfortable and elaborate little nests to nap in. You know, the chimps like to make nests, not just at night, but during the day sometimes when they want a little rest. And they like to make them fresh each day. So they'll bring out fresh straw from their caregivers or parts of the toys or some newly laundered blankets. And that will make them so happy. And I know some of you noticed that over Prime Day, we were calling for some things we needed, like detergent for their blankets, for example.
We got a bingo.
Oh, we got a bingo already?
Bingo.
Oh, my goodness. That's fabulous, guys. We got a bingo. Okay. Well, who's our bingo winner?
Our winner is Rhea Davis from Atlanta, Georgia.
Rhea. Oh, my goodness, Rhea. That is fabulous. Now, Rhea, I'm going to tell you that what will be helpful to us is if you could drop us a line just to speed up the process of giving the tank top to you. So you can email us. We'll have it on the screen in just a minute. We do capture your information, but it makes it just a little faster if you can check in with us as well. So email us at events@projectchimps.org to help us get that to you. Okay, so wow, that was a quick bingo. I'm so glad to hear it. That means a lot of you are really enjoying being back at bingo. Before we move away from bingo, though, I did want to mention we didn't get to talk about some of the kids. So I do want to mention a few things about them before we move on and into our commercial break. So let me mention that Danner, who was, of course, our G chimp. Now, Danner, He loves big stuffies. He likes the stuffed toys. Yeah, particularly the extra large ones. He has a giraffe he's really enjoying right now. And many of our chimps like the stuffed toys. So that's a donation you can make. Maybe some gently used stuffed animals you have. We will make sure to make them chimp safe before we give them to kids. Or you can just buy them off the wish list. Or as I've said before, feel free always to just donate cash, through our donate, through our wish list. That works just fine too. And we will get them the things they need. Now, Tristan, he's besties to Haley. Excuse me. I make that mistake all the time. She is besties with Haley. She is happy as a lower ranking gal. And like all of them, she loves the Kong toys because they often come stuffed with nuts and other treats. So you can help us at the wish list with some Kong toys. Jacob is really enjoying his training for wellness and helping out the caregivers, and they use a laser pointer to help make that happen. We use that in a lot of their training, so you can help us get some laser pointers through the wish list or just by donating. And finally, Kirk loves the dried chickpeas. That's one of his favorite treats in the enrichment projects. So when he's working through the puzzles, Kirk likes to find some dried chickpeas. You can find that treat and many others on our wish list and just have it sent straight to us. And just because you missed out on Prime Days doesn't mean we don't still need those things. So go ahead and send them along. We'd really appreciate that. Now, there's one more thing I want to mention before we move out. And and of course, we want to congratulate Rhea one more time. Well done on a good bingo. Well done. There are 2 other chimps that had birthdays this month that were not part of our featured chimps. And they're Muti and Veronica. Now, Muti and Veronica, we didn't mention them because we're still learning about them because they've just arrived at Project Chimps in the last couple of months. There's Veronica there. Yep. And they are actually still under quarantine. We've got to make sure that everything's good and ready to go with them. There's Muti. Look at that beautiful face. Yeah. We want to make sure they're good and healthy before we release them in areas where they may come in contact with places the other chimps have been or with those other chimps themselves, because they will eventually be integrated with some of the other chimps. But we are going to take every precaution to make sure they're as healthy as possible. So frankly, their caregivers just don't know a lot about them yet and what their special treats are and what things they like and don't like. So as we find out more about them, you'll be able to find out on our website too. Them and all of our chimps, details are there. So if you have your favorite chimps, you can find out about them. You can sponsor the ones you really like and help with their care over a year as your adopted chimp for the year. That's always a great thing to do too. And then you feel like you're helping a particular individual. And I think that's a good thing to do.
So,
yes,
Jolene, it was just like on our safari.
Yes.
There's the bird flu going around.
Yes,
so
I noticed
several
that.
Locations we were at, the birds were all in quarantine as well.
Yes, their caregivers were being very careful with them to make sure that we as guests did not pass anything along to them or spread anything they may have come in contact with to other birds. So we didn't get to see all of the birds, unfortunately, because that's just the way it is when you're taking good care of your pets. Yeah, or other creatures that are in your care. And we like to be that careful with our chimps too, so they stay happy and healthy. Yeah. Well, we've had our first bingo, so you all know what that means. It's time for a commercial. And for our first commercial, I want to bring back the lovely and talented Megan Hume, our outreach coordinator and education specialist. There she is. Hello, Megan. Hello.
Hi, Jolene. Hi, Ima.
Hi. It's good to see you. Now, I understand there's some things happening that may be other ways besides bingo that our folks can become engaged. Do you want to tell them all a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We always have fun things happening. As you mentioned before, we're just finishing up that Walk Like a Chimp challenge. So we would love for you to donate to anybody's fundraisers, but especially Jolene's if you want to look there in the comments. And then we have something really fun coming up in August. We've been doing a series of events with different breweries and wineries, even coffee houses and distilleries. And we are going to be at Granddaddy Mims in Blairsville on August 19th for our Cheers for Chimps event from 2 to 6 p.m. And those are really fun events that are $25 a person, but everybody gets their own glass and then you get your first pour, your first drink, some type of a yummy vegan snack. And then of course, after that, you can enjoy all the spirits that you would like. And with Granddaddy Mims, they do moonshine, they do vodka, a variety of spirits. So all sorts of really fun, yummy drinks to try.
Oh, Megan, that is fabulous. Yes, we'll put that on. You know, I'm not a big bourbon fan, but anytime you're drinking on behalf of the Chimps, I'm all in. Yeah.
That's all for wonderful. The Chimps.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't like to be unsafe, but if it's to help the Chimps, I'll have a beer or a cocktail anytime.
Mm-hmm. And she means anytime.
Anytime. Yeah.
Well,
okay. Well, Megan, why don't you tell them a little bit more about some of the things we do while Jolene and I go on a quick break so we can get ready for game number 2.
I know.
Oh, did I say that? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, Ima and I are gonna have a quick break. Yes. All right.
No problem. While you guys take a break, we'll tell you a little bit about some of your opportunities to come and visit the sanctuary. We have 4 events throughout the year where you are open to the public and you can purchase a ticket and have your opportunity to come and meet the Chimps by taking a tour. But we are also available for private supporter tours all throughout the year. We do private tours every day except New Year's Day, Thanksgiving Day, or Christmas. But for $500, you can bring up to 20 of your friends and family out for your opportunity to take a tour of the sanctuary and see the Chimps interacting in their habitat. Another option you have to come and visit the sanctuary is we do a variety of Airbnb experiences. Now, this is an Airbnb where you get to come and stay overnight with us. We currently don't have any lodging, but we offer an experience where your experience is to come and take a tour. And we actually have 3 different Airbnb experiences that we offer. One is called Chimpanzees in the Mountains, and that is just the tour of the sanctuary. And that next date that is available is Saturday, July 23rd. And for these Airbnb tours, it's not a private tour, but we do limit the groups at only 10 guests. So it is a nice, still small, intimate opportunity to get to visit the Chimps and see the Chimps. And all of these experiences are $100 a person. We also have an opportunity called Honeybees and Chimpanzees, where you get to pair your tour with a tour of our apiary. We do have bees on the property. We also have a big garden on the property. So you can come have a tour of the apiary, learn a little bit about beekeeping, and then take your tour. And the next one that is available is July 26th. And then if you've heard about our hiking trails, you can come and take a hike with one of our tour guides and then do your tour after the hike. Now, this one isn't for the week apart. You got to put those hiking shoes on. The hike is about 1.5 to 2 miles, and then the tour is about another mile. So you might get in 2.5 to 3 miles by the time you're done. We call that one our Project Chimps Trails Trek-in Tour. And the next time that one is available is August 11th. So we do have quite a few different opportunities that you can come out to the sanctuary and have your chance to see the Chimps. Now, we say it's a chance to see the Chimps because we don't ever guarantee Chimp sightings. Of course, we leave it up to the Chimps to decide what they want to do, if they want to go inside or outside, and whether or not they want to interact. But we definitely do have some that absolutely love seeing who comes to visit and come to the windows and interact with them. And we would love to have you come out. And Holly did pop up our website there. So if you have any other questions, feel free to check us out at projectchimps.org/visit.
Well, that's wonderful. And I'm so glad you mentioned Project Harvest, you know, because we do so many things to help the Chimps and help us save money so we can use our resources for the Chimps wisely. So it's fun to come and visit and see what's going on there. I've done most of those tours, and they are wonderful. I highly recommend them. And, you know, of course, we do not guarantee, as Megan said, when those Chimps are going to come look and to see you, because we're not a zoo. But frankly, the Chimps do love to see us, and they will usually pop out. At least a few of them like to come out. Like Haley, she likes to spit at everybody, and who doesn't love that? So I'm so glad you mentioned that, Megan. And, you know, Megan, we have a special guest this week, and he's going to help us with our next game, isn't he?
Absolutely. We have Andrew Halloran, who's going to be joining us, and he is from Save the Chimps, one of our fellow sanctuaries down in Florida, and he's also a author. So, Jolene, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, thank you, Megan. Yes. Well, hello, Dr. Halloran. I'm so glad to have you with us. Now, you work a lot with Save the Chimps, right? And that's very similar to what Project Chimps is, but you guys have been around a bit longer, haven't you?
We have. We've been around for over 20 years, and we have a whole lot of chimps. We've got, well, since this past week just passed, we now have 229 chimps. So so they all, it's a little different from Project Chimps in that the chimps all live out on islands. So there's 12 islands plus a special needs facility, and so the chimps live out there, and they can roam around on these islands that are upwards of 5 acres, and they're in very large social groups, and so so that's, I mean, with the same goals, we're trying to provide a life where chimps can thrive, where they can have freedom of choice and a rich social environment and a cognitively stimulating environment. So that's what we work towards.
Right, and if you're going to retire, chimp or otherwise, where else to retire but Florida on an island? I mean,
yes, they join quite a lot of retirees down here.
Exactly. But Dr. Halloran, you now, can I call you Andrew? Because
please,
it's a mouthful.
Please,
well, thank you. Yeah, but I noticed that you've actually been involved with chimpanzees far beyond Save the Chimps too. Now, you even have a couple books about it, don't you?
I do. So I wrote a book about 10 years ago called Song of the Ape, which is mostly about chimpanzee communication, and it's really kind of the story of some chimps that I worked with a number of years ago, and especially one very special chimp named Little Mama, who was I believe on record as the oldest chimp ever in captivity. So kind of wanted to write the stories of those chimps. And I just wrote a book that was really a long time in the making, called Lion-Shaped Mountain. And
Lion-Shaped Mountain. Oh dear, yes. I have a lion-shaped mole. I better not mention that. Yeah, but yes. So that's like making a mountain out of a mole, I guess. But Lion-Shaped Mountain, that is fabulous. Now I've only read the introduction so far because I like to take it slow. But maybe you could tell us a little bit about why you wrote this second book, and most importantly, because it does have a slightly different format than your original book. What was your hope in creating that book for people to learn about chimpanzees?
So I had originally, there was supposed to be a follow-up to Song of the Ape, which was on St. Martin's Press, and I had kind of come up with this idea for this strange book that would be fables along with some poems and folk tales and all sorts of strange things. And St. Martin's Press did not like it at all. In fact, they really, really hated it. And
publishers.
Yes, too strange, too depressing. And so they didn't want it, which was fine. So there's a journal I work with quite a bit called Earth Island Journal, and they said, well, we will put it out, and we'll put it out as a serial. And so so it got serialized, and so it was supposed to come out a while ago, but then COVID happened, and then Earth Island Journal stopped printing, so there was like a big 8-month gap in the serial, but it finally ended. And so then it got compiled, and we put it into one book with some more stuff in it at the end. So
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So yes, so I do recommend to everyone check those books out because they're very exciting. Now, Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and get our game started. I'm just going to be in the background calling out numbers. We might even pull her in occasionally to say hi, but we can have some more discussions about chimps and about our respective sanctuaries. But let's get those folks playing a game so they don't leave on us. Yeah, because sometimes we talk about chimps and they're just like, "Where's the prize?" Yeah. So yeah. Yes. What is the prize for our second game? Holly, could you hit us with our next prize, maybe? I'm sure she's looking for that picture. While she is, I'm going to go ahead and give us our first number.
Your first ball is O72.
Oh, 72, everybody. Oh, 72. Yes. Go ahead and give them another one.
Your next ball is B9.
B9. And there you go, guys. There's your prize. A copy of our comic book about Paniel.
Yay.
Now, Paniel, of course, is one of our chimps over at Project Chimps. And she has a hankering for blankets. She likes to have a blanket with her at all times, often wearing one over her shoulder, much like a cape. And so one of our known artists created this comic book about Paniel, the super chimp, with her ape on, and her encounter with the grape juice snatchers and how she foiled their robbery. So definitely check out that comic book. And remember, by the way, guys, if you don't win the prize that you wanted, it's not a problem because you can go online and purchase all of our swag too. So just check us out online, buy any of the things that you were hoping to win, or if you win them but want more for your friends, you can go to projectchimps.org shop and get some more that way. Yeah. Go ahead and give us one more, Ima, and then I have some questions for our guests.
Your next ball is I-25.
I-25, everybody. I-25. Okay. Now, in case you were wondering, we are playing regular bingo just like the first game. So it's just lines. It's just standard bingo. Yeah. So, Andrew, now you actually know my sister, don't you? You've worked with Jane Goodall before. Or you've at least met her, I believe.
Well, I've met Jane Goodall. I wish I would have worked with her.
Okay.
But yes, I've met her and obviously, well, as you know, she's a wonderful, very inspiring.
Yes, she is. She inspired me to become a self-proclaimed primatologist. Yes. I've learned everything I know about chimps. Not from her, actually, because she's never mentioned them to me, but I learned them on my own. Yes. I went to Nashville Tech. Yes. And I learned a bit there. But Andrew, you have worked in the same areas, though, right? Because you've been in Africa looking at chimps, haven't you?
Yes, but far away from the part of Africa that she's in. So
it's not all one place.
Okay. No. It's a bunch of different places. But the part of Africa that I work in is Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Which is
wasn't he a famous director of Italian cinema, Sierra Leone?
Yes, or maybe Portuguese. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's a beautiful country with some of the nicest people you will ever meet, and so do a conservation project there with wild chimps. And what's happening in Sierra Leone is kind of what's happening everywhere with chimpanzee habitat. And you get deforestation all across the continent. And as a result, humans get pushed out of where the deforestation is, and chimpanzees get pushed out of where the deforestation is. And so what you have are chimpanzees living in these small forest fragments, and they're right up with human communities. And so there's not enough nutrition in those forest fragments for the chimps. So they go and eat the food in the farms. And so the very impoverished communities of people defend those farms by killing the chimps. And so what the project endeavors to do is to mitigate conflicts between humans and their chimpanzee neighbors by providing alternative agriculture and things like that with
yes, because of course, I mean, everybody has to eat, right? So you can't get too upset if chimps are stealing some, corn dogs. You gotta stop them because you need those for your dinner. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're helping with that. And I'm sure that's what led you into this whole thing with chimpanzees. Is that how Save the Chimps found you and got you involved with their care?
I think the executive director at that time, I knew her because of some of this stuff, and it just kind of happened by accident. I just kind of bumped into her at a conference and started talking, and there we are. It's kind of was a dream come true to work at Save the Chimps, and it's been one crazy dream ever since. So.
Absolutely. Well, actually, let me interrupt for a second. I'm going to give us a few more balls. I hope folks are doing well with bingo. Ima, what have you got for them?
Your next ball is G50.
G50.
So I have a question for Andrew.
Okay, well, give us one more ball, and then we'll get that question in.
Your next ball is B10.
B10. Okay, Go ahead.
So, Andrew, I've got a question. With Sierra Leone being on the coast, are most of the chimps being forced deeper into the country and pushed to the other countries? Or are they on the coastline, or is it kind of just all over?
They're all over, actually. That's a great question. So Sierra Leone, the entire country is basically like a forest farm mosaic. It's farms, little patches of forest, farms, little patches of forest. And there used to be chimps near the coast decades ago, but they were wiped out most likely during the war in that area. So so everything is just kind of these patches. They have protected areas, but unfortunately the protected areas aren't very protected. And because no one owns the protected area, and it's very easy to go and do bad things in the protected area. So I don't know if you know Takugama Sanctuary in Sierra Leone, which is a chimpanzee sanctuary that takes in chimps that have been captured as pets around the country. They commissioned a census about 12 years ago, and back when our project was first starting. And the interesting thing was they found out that more chimpanzees are living outside of protected areas than inside. And in fact, most chimpanzees live kind of like the chimps at our conservation site too, which is just kind of in these little fragments by villages and in what we would consider an anthropogenic landscape where there's a lot of human interactions and human chimpanzee interactions are
never no yeah, and it's never a good idea to interact with wild animals of any type, but chimpanzees especially, being the smarties that they are. Yeah. Why don't you give us a couple more balls and then we'll continue with that, because that's fascinating.
Your next ball is 074.
074, yes.
Your next ball, give you a second to cut up, I-30.
I-30. Okay, 074, I-30. Hope some of you are getting closer. And Andrew, you were about to talk a little bit about, the interactions when the chimps are just too close to people. Yeah, and how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's human chimp interactions in the wild generally either lead to chimps being hunted, or it can lead to disease transmission between both species, habitat loss, and the chimps are pretty hard on the humans there. So there's been livestock being killed. Obviously, there's crop damage, and there's even reports of humans being attacked around the area. So it's an unfortunate situation that because of the deforestation, and the deforestation there is not from Sierra Leoneans. It's from these global corporations from China and Norway and Sri Lanka and these places, after cheap land for biofuel or mining or things like that. And they go after these resource frontiers, and the people of Sierra Leone get very little to show, in fact, nothing to show for it. And so both the chimps and the humans there are really kind of victimized by the same thing. And so and that's kind of where this project proceeds from, is that, what do we do in the face of this kind of rampant deforestation? Do you put a fence up and say, no, humans can go here? Well, we've seen that doesn't work so much. So the idea is to work with local communities and empower local communities, because, they don't want to be killing the chimps. They feel that they're forced into it because they're very impoverished as it is, and the chimps are stealing what they have.
Absolutely. Yes, I understand. Because chimps are fabulous, but they're still very strong, very wild creatures. Yes. And they're going to get their needs. They're going to go after their needs, aren't they? Yes. Speaking of needs, I think we need a couple more balls so that we can continue our discussion.
And then I have a question.
Sure.
All right. Your next ball is B13.
B13, everybody. B13.
And your next ball is I-23.
I-23. Let's give them one more. Why don't we?
Okay. And your next ball is I-22.
I-22. Okay, Ima, did you have a question about these horrible circumstances for chimps and humans in Sierra Leone?
So everybody kind of gets the size scale. Sierra Leone, in terms of how big of a state, would you say it's bigger than Georgia, smaller than Georgia, so that people can kind of get a perspective of how much land we're talking?
It's actually exactly the size of South Carolina.
Oh, very small. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
very small. And the census revealed over 30,000 chimpanzees. So that's a very, very high density
Ooh,
of
yes.
chimpanzees in an area that's by and large very deforested. So that's why you've got the issue that you haven't. And as you both know, chimpanzees are extremely, extremely resilient, and they figure out how to live in some pretty bad places. And so they can figure out how to. So unlike the other species that have been really wiped out from all of West Africa, 50 years ago there were big cats there. 20 years ago there were elephants in the area. They've all been wiped out. But chimpanzees figure it out. But it doesn't mean that they're living in a good in a good state. And so that's to me kind of the future of chimpanzee conservation really has to lie with the local communities. And I think our responsibility is to do whatever we can to empower local communities to conserve the chimps and to not kill them and to preserve the land that they have.
Exactly. Yes, because you can't spend more chimps than you have. No, that's no good. How about another ball or two? Yeah.
Your next ball is B3.
B3, everybody. B3.
And we'll give you another ball. Your next ball is G48.
G48. G48. Is anybody getting close? Is anybody getting close there?
Do you want to do one more?
Sure. Let's do one more.
One more ball. Your next ball is N37.
N37. Okay, I hope some of you are getting close. Now, Andrew, it brought up a question for me that I haven't really thought of before. Now, we're taking such wonderful care of these chimps that are used to captivity and have been in laboratories and whatnot at our respective facilities. But now we're talking about some chimpanzees that have always been in the wild. I'm wondering, we are, of course, concerned about the care and well-being of our chimps, but the actual concern should probably be more about these chimps in the wild, because that's what's going to really make a difference in the long-term survival of them as a species, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think our concern needs to lie with both. I think, obviously, as everyone involved in Project Chimps knows, there is a crisis with chimpanzees in captivity in places that they shouldn't be, and they absolutely need to be in places where they can have the things that are so important to chimpanzees, a highly social, highly cognitive species that need freedom, that need to be able to have self-determination in their day. At the same time, chimpanzees will disappear. As resilient as they are, they will disappear, and they will disappear exponentially. And so what we as people in the know have the responsibility, I think, to do is to talk with people about these resource frontiers in places like West Africa, places where the land is super cheap and people can get a lot for very little there. From other countries and talk about things, like where does biofuel come from? And we think it's a cornfield in Iowa. No, it's a sugarcane field in Sierra Leone. And so, things like that we should be talking about and what actually contributes to deforestation. And this is something that, to me, conservation should be maybe easier than it is, because I think everyone's interested in it. It's not a one side or the other. It seems like a very bipartisan idea that chimpanzees and other species deserve the right to live on the earth with us. So I do think that it's something that we should all kind of work together on with things like that. But you have to compete with greed, and that's a difficult thing to compete with.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, if you want to compete with greed, you ought to see her around the liquor cabinet.
Oh, yes, it's true. Yes, I know. And speaking of greed, I know some of you want to win a fabulous prize. So let's get a couple more numbers out there, shall we?
Your next ball is N35.
N35, everybody. N35. One more, please.
Your next ball is O66.
O66. Now, I know we've been talking about some very serious things. So if some of you are feeling guilty about the state of things with chimpanzees in the wild, don't forget, donating to Project Chimps and to Save the Chimps goes a long way to help some individual chimps. And in the long run, it helps people like Dr. Halloran with the work that they're doing too, because they're trying to make things better for all of the chimps, and we want to help with that. So be sure to donate, especially if you're feeling a little sad about some of this may be new news for you about what's going on in Sierra Leone. And it's kind of sad to think about it, but it's important to be aware of these things. So that's why we want you all to know about the very important work that's happening. We've talked before about the work that Jane has done, but the work that Andrew is doing is also very important as well, because they're definitely reaching a crisis point there, aren't they? Dr. Halloran, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they've been there, and I think that it's the time is now. And again, it's a humanitarian crisis too. So with the lack of land, the communities there, they practice what we'd call slash and burn agriculture. And you hear slash and burn, you think, oh, that's, but they've been doing it there for the last 10,000 years. The problem is that what happens is they have a system where they will, cut down one forest and plant there. And then when they use up the soil there, they'll cut down another forest. Well, in the meantime, they usually spend about 14, 15, 16, even 20 years allowing that forest to regenerate, and then they'll use it again as they go through the cycle. And the chimps have actually adapted to this system. The problem is with the amount of people that are now living in these small areas and the deforestation, that period has gone from 15 to 20 years. Now it's like 2 or 3. And what you're seeing is that the farmland gets desertified, the forest gets desertified, so it won't grow back. And so the deforestation just kind of grows exponentially out of that. So it is a crisis. And it's something that it has a solution. And that solution is to empower the local communities to use the land wisely and to find means of alternative agriculture that's not quite as soil dependent. Things like beekeeping and things like that are definite alternatives. So, and you guys were talking about beekeeping.
Yes,
I know, but
yes.
Ima's
not a fan of bees, but she does understand their importance. She does not go on the bee tour when we're up there. No, but our bees in Project Chimps are very important, especially as we continue to try and do our own agriculture there and grow more of our orchard and all of the plants that we're trying to grow there to offset some of the needs of our chimps, for sure. Let's give them another couple because we don't have a winner yet. No.
I had somebody tell me they need B7, but that's not been called yet.
Oh, I see.
Your next ball is I-26.
I-26, everyone. I-26. Let's give them another one.
Your next ball is O-73.
O-73. Well, that's great.
Let's do one more.
Yes.
And your next ball is O-70.
O-70. So hopefully some of you are getting close. Please let us know in the comments how you're enjoying your game, what numbers you need. And also, if you have questions for Dr. Halloran or for me or for Ima, put them in there. Let us know. Let us know about it. Now, as Dr. Halloran said, there is hope. There is hope. And some of the projects that he's working on are really helping with that hope. Yeah, definitely. We want to think about the hope. And that brings me to my point, something I was going to mention to you guys starting at the beginning. I mentioned. Now, Ima and I, we went on our own little safari, because we know, Dr. Goodall, my sister Jane, and Dr. Halloran, they've been working in Africa. I mean, sure, it's low-hanging fruit to go to Africa to look for chimpanzees. We know they're there. But I've decided to take the hope in a different direction and see what other chimps in the world might need help. Now, they keep telling me there are no other chimps wild in the world. But, they say that about Bigfoot too, and we just never know. So it's worth a look. So we went to the Pacific Northwest to see if we could find some chimps of our own that might need some help. Maybe start a new community and make sure that they're doing well. So I want to show you some of the things that we found there. Now, Holly has some of the photos of the critters we encountered while we were searching. Now, this right here, he was one of the fellas we met in Seattle. He is not a chimp. Yeah, no, he is not a chimp. No. this guy, I believe his name was Patrick. He was just exhausted, but he is not a chimp. No, he is not a chimp. Nope. We looked everywhere. We just, and here, now this guy, I knew he wasn't, but for those of you out there that might still be looking, I wanted you to know I found him. There he is. Nonetheless, he is not a chimp. Not a chimp. Okay. So, yeah, we were looking. We were hoping. Oh, I was getting warmer. You might recognize this. It's a primate. Yes, my primates. Yes, but not a chimp. No, not a chimp. This guy, hairy, clever, kind of silly, like some of our chimps. However, not a chimp. Nope, not a chimp. Okay, this guy. Oh, he was magnificent, but he was not a chimp. So we moved our looks somewhere else. I went into Washington. I found a pile of rocks. There was somebody running around in there. That was this gentleman, also not a chimp, just in case you were wondering. This lovely young thing, she is not a chimp. Nope, not at all. So we're going to continue to look, and you can help us find things like this gentleman who is not a chimp. You can look where you go, see what's out there, see if you can find a chimp, or more likely, not a chimp. Oh, I thought we were getting close here. Hairy, not a chimp. Oh, sweet, lovable, not a chimp. Not a chimp. Yes. So we were at some of the Alaskan camps there where they're training the huskies. I thought they were chimps. They were not. I turned over a few rocks, found this guy, still not a chimp. So my hopes for the Pacific Northwest were getting down. Now, this one right here, not even alive. No. So definitely not a chimp. Okay. Oh, these guys were everywhere. I tried to interview a few of them. Bad idea. Not a chimp. Not a chimp. And like chimps, they don't like to be approached. I had no idea what this guy was at all, but I was sure he was not a chimp. Okay, so those are some of the many things we saw, some of the many things. Hallie, do you have that bigger picture maybe available? There's a lovely landscape view. I don't know if you have that readily available. If you do, go ahead and pop it up there whenever you're ready. Oh, well, this is not the one I was thinking of, but this one's very important. We got a little hungry and thirsty. We found this place, and I thought, well, maybe. Now, if you go inside here and check at the counter, there's not a chimp there. No. But they did have a lovely drink, and we felt much refreshed. Much refreshed, yes. Okay, well, that was our first exploration. I will share some. Oh, look, Andrew's got not a chimp with him, too. Look at that cutie. Oh, my goodness.
Birdie.
Hi, Birdie. Oh,
Gertie. Gertie, yes.
Gertie, okay. Oh, sweetheart. Yeah, you look a little hairy like a chimp, and you're just as adorable. But obviously, just judging by your proximity to a human being, not a chimp.
Yeah, it would get very messy if Gertie was a chimp. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's give him a couple more numbers, and we'll come back to Dr. Halloran about a few things. Maybe even Gertie.
Our next ball is I-24.
I-24, everybody. Who's close? I-24.
And your next ball is I-20.
I-20. Yes. Yeah. So before I throw it back to Dr. Halloran, I've noticed we've got a few comments in our comment section. We love that. A Michelle Travis says, does Ima help out with the chimps? Or is that not advised given her status as banana? Well, Michelle, you're onto the right track there. Yeah, chimps, there is a little bit of a confusion there. Chimps will enjoy a banana, but it is not their favorite, except for one thing. Tristan, our end chimp, actually prefers bananas. But yes, chimps would eat bananas, but the reality is, whether you're Ima or just a regular person like me, acclaimed primatologist Jolene Goodall, it is not a good idea to get too close to a chimpanzee or any other wild animal for that matter. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. So when we are caring for the chimps at Project Chimps or the folks down at Save a Chimp, we are very careful with our interactions. We don't put ourselves in the same space as a chimpanzee ever, because that's just dangerous. We make sure that they have as much freedom as we can possibly give them. And that includes freedom from us quite often. Yes. For their safety and for our safety. Yeah. So that's a great question, Michelle. And thank you for many of you who said, yeah, that's not a good idea, because you're correct. You're correct. It's a funny thought, but it's a bad idea. I've seen what they do to a banana, and Ima would not fare well. Ima, since we're talking about you, maybe you got another number or two for us.
Your next number is 063.
063. 063. Yeah. One more, please.
Your next number is N44.
N44, everyone. Somebody must be getting close. N44. I hope we haven't lost too many of you. I know we're not giving the prizes away as quickly as normal, but we are learning some wonderful things about wild chimpanzees, and that's new for some of us who are used to dealing with the captive ones. Speaking of which, I would like to ask Andrew another question. What would you say you have dealt with chimps over there at Save a Chimps that have really no experience in the wild, but you've also probably had at least some interaction with the chimps in Sierra Leone, hopefully at a distance. Maybe you can tell us a little bit of the differences between the wild chimps and what we see from our chimps in captivity.
Yeah, so I mean, the chimps in captivity, especially chimps that find themselves at Project Chimps or Save the Chimps, obviously they've had a very unnatural upbringing where they've been deprived of things like socialization, which is something that to a wild chimpanzee that's critical. I mean, to a captive chimpanzee, to all chimpanzees, that's a critically natural thing, is to be able to form relationships. Chimps survive by that in the wild. They survive by learning how to survive the environment around them. So when that's deprived of them, they have real challenges, in their life. And so a lot of what we do at Save the Chimps is with all of these very different backgrounds of captive chimps, whether these are chimps that were pets or chimps that were in biomedical lab, whether they've dealt with trauma or dealt with social isolation and things like that. We try to provide individualized care plans to get them to overcome those challenges so that they can thrive like a chimp. Now in the wild, they don't have those issues because they are in big social groups, just despite the ecological issues that they have. But part of the reason why they figure it out, part of the reason why they're so resilient is because they have those social groups and they know how to survive those things, and they've learned from their group how to survive things. Even in a situation like at the Tonkalili site, where prior to our project, they were hunted all the time when they were seen. They figured out how to avoid people, and they figured it out by watching each other. And so, the biggest difference I would say is in captivity, you see the effects of the things that chimpanzees really need that have been deprived of them.
Yes.
Kind of like high school.
I know, right? I don't blame them, because I've always found avoiding people is a smart strategy. I adopt it myself sometimes. Yeah. It's a good one. Ima, how about another ball or two?
Your next ball is G55.
G55, everybody. Who's getting close there?
Your next ball is O67.
O67. Yes, O67. Well, it looks like Gertie has not learned to avoid humans. In fact, she seems to really enjoy humans.
Nicely, and now she's woken up. So,
that's good. Yes. We have a few of those guests around too. Oh my goodness, we have a bingo winner. Well done. And who is our lucky winner?
Our winner is Michelle Travis.
Michelle Travis,
Wisconsin.
Well, wonderful, Michelle. Well done from Wisconsin. We love to hear from our folks in other places, because remember, you can play bingo with us from anywhere. Tell your friends. And Michelle, you've won that fabulous comic book. Remember to give us a quick email, and Michelle, we will get that to you as quickly as we can. You can email us at events@projectchimps.org. If you want a prize, you can email us there. You can also just email us there if you have questions for Megan or some of our other folks, or if there's anything you want to pass on to the Save the Chimp folks or Dr. Halloran. We will pass those messages along too. Hopefully, you've learned a lot today about wild chimps and some other things that are going on. You can check out Dr. Halloran's book, like we mentioned. Either one of them. Lion-Shaped Mountain is more recent, but I believe the other one was Songs Chimpanzees Like to Sing. Was that the other one?
It's called Song of the Ape, and I think you can find it for about 27 cents used on Amazon. So
it's perfect.
It's a karaoke book.
It's a karaoke book, yes. Song of the Ape, yes. Okay, well, but check out either of those books. They're wonderful. And, there's so much you can learn about chimpanzees in so many ways. And visiting the sanctuaries is one way. Of course, you have to do that in very special ways, but we invite you to do that when that's available to you. More importantly, we invite you to just learn more, donate, and help. Now, we do have another game coming up in just a little bit, and we've had such a good time with Dr. Halloran. I'm going to invite him and Gertie to come back and join us for a little bit longer. Talk about we've talked about those wild chimps, but let's get back to talking a little bit about our chimps in captivity at both sanctuaries. So if that sounds good to Dr. Halloran, I want to show you one thing, all of you, before we come back for a third game. We've been talking about things that aren't a chimp. And at Project Chimps, we did a little study of some other creatures that aren't chimps during National Turtle Day. So take it away, Holly. Let's learn about National Turtle Day.
Well, hello, my primates. Welcome. Yes, it's National Turtle Day, and we're here to celebrate. Now, I know I'm normally talking to you about chimpanzees because I am a self-proclaimed primatologist. Yes, me, Jolene Goodall, primatologist. It's true, yes. But we're going to talk about National Turtle Day. Yes, because when I was in college, we studied other organisms. We really did, yes. So I want to talk to you about turtles and tortoises.
Hi, I'm a turtle.
Hi, I'm a tortoise.
And
we're not great apes.
First, notice that turtles are not chimpanzees. Yes, yes.
Really?
So we'll notice that turtles have a shell. And chimpanzees no longer do. That's true, yes. They don't have a shell, yes. What? No, they never had a shell. That's correct, yes. So turtles have a shell, chimpanzees don't. Yes, that's a major difference. Mm-hmm. Yes, chimpanzees are bigger. That's one way you can tell. Yes, tortoises sometimes fit in the palm of their hands like that. Oh dear, what is he doing? Oh my. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yes. Well, anyway, chimpanzees are usually bigger, except for some of the sea turtles. They can be quite large, yes.
I'm bigger than you.
maybe, but my cousin the sea turtle's bigger than Popo.
So chimps are also faster. Yes, that's another way you can tell. Look how fast these chimps are. Yes, that's totally natural. From my experience, that's just a normal chimp speed. Much faster than a turtle. Well, it's going to be a photo finish. Eventually. Let's have a drink, shall we? I know I enjoy a nice cocktail in my lovely banana flask purchased right at the gift shop there at Project Chimps. Check it out. Any minute now. Oh my goodness, the chimps are racing too. What a nail bite. Oh indeed, yes. Well, I guess eventually someone will win. Yes. But in the meantime, I'm almost out of rum, so let's watch the celebration. Shall we? Anyone? Anyone? Let's take it away. course it's so exciting. Do you think the turtle beat the tortoise? Have they done yet? Are they done yet? There you have it, folks. The turtle is faster, but the chimps are faster still, especially when they eat the turtle. Oh dear, I shouldn't have brought that up again. Oh, well, at any rate, have a happy Turtle Day!
Congratulations, you guys! So, can you tell me what exactly is the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
Well, I like to swim.
I only live on land.
I eat like anything,
I only eat plants.
and I'm way faster than her.
I could be faster than him, but I don't like to compete.
Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you had a wonderful celebration with us. Now you know, or you know what we know, or we know things together, whatever it might be. Well, thank you for joining us for Turtle Day celebration. Bye-bye.
Well, wasn't that wonderful? Just a bit of silliness, but most importantly, we just wanted you to have a chance to see some of the chimps enjoying our monthly celebrations. We were talking a little bit about the different things that go on with the chimps. We like to make sure they have lots of enrichment so they don't get bored. And so they can have some treats. And sometimes we just make it a big celebration. And that was our Turtle Day celebration with a little silliness from the staff. Don't forget, you can check out all of our videos on YouTube at Project Chimps, our channel. You can also link to them through projectchimps.org, because I know many of you like to keep up with what the chimps are up to and just kind of watch them, because we're always fascinated. They are such amazing creatures. And our folks over at Project Chimps, those chimps have just a good time with quite a lot of things. You saw some of the behaviors there. And we're going to bring Dr. Halloran back in a minute to talk about chimps in captivity and things that are going on at both of our sanctuaries. And we're also going to invite you to play a third game. We're still going to play in the standard method. It's still just going to be up, down, or across. So if you didn't win one yet, you have another chance. Oh, and we wanted to give a shout out to Kelly. She also had a bingo on the last game, but unfortunately, Michelle got in a little faster than her. So make sure you're keeping track of those. And don't forget, Kelly, if you were really hoping for that comic book, you can still purchase it at our shop. Our online shop has most of the things we carry in our gift shop. But if you're in the area, stop by, because there are a few exclusives that can only be purchased right at Project Chimps at the gift shop. Maybe when you come in to do a little walk on the trail or something. Or maybe when you're doing an Airbnb, who can say?
Exit through the gift shop.
Always exit through the gift shop. If Disney has taught us nothing else, they've taught us how to do that. Yes. Okay, well, so it's time for our third game. And as I said, we're going to bring Gertie and Andrew back to help us with that and chat about a few things there as well. So here he comes. We'll give him just a second. Oh, there he is. Hello. Hello, Andrew. Yes. So before we get into it with Andrew again, Ima, could you go ahead and get us started with, let's say, 3 numbers?
Your first ball for the new game is N40.
N40. N40. Okay. What else have we got for him?
Your next ball is G56.
G56. G56.
And I have a question for Andrew as well.
Good.
And your next ball is I22.
I22. Okay. Now I'm gonna get you to hold for just one second, because I wanted to ask Andrew. Now, Andrew, so what we just saw there was really about the monthly celebrations for our chimps, to have some special treats and just have something different happen in their day. And I'm just curious, at Save a Chimps, what sort of activities do you have for the chimps there? What sort of things do you like to do with those guys?
So we have a really robust enrichment program. The chimps get at least, at a minimum, 3 pretty major enrichments a day. So we have things like things like artificial termite mounds. We've got several on each island that we can actually put treats like oatmeal and stuff into a canister and put it on the inside, and the chimps will actually use sticks to dig the treats out. We have all of these devices that that the chimps use, different puzzle boxes. We browse our islands a couple times a day to scatter browse so that the chimps have to forage for food and things like that. Now, in addition to that, we also do some enrichment things that are just as much fun for staff and visitors. We do parties and things like that. We just had a lot of 4th of July celebrations and 4th of July parties. We do Chimpmas, we do Chimpentine's Day, and any other variation of the word chimp in a holiday that you can think of.
Of course, yes. We have our own chimper treat. Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's give them a couple more numbers, and then you had a question as well.
Oh. Do you know what? There is a I'm in Vero Beach, Florida, and there's a rocket going off right in front of me.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's a SpaceX rocket that I'm just watching blast off.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
So I've got a question. Since you mentioned 4th of July, like dogs don't do well with all the explosions. How do the chimps do with all the? Are they close enough that they hear all that noise?
No, we're pretty remote. There's a lot of cows around, but not a lot of people. Even though we do now have some people a little bit closer now, but I didn't hear any fireworks and things going off. You know, I imagine we've heard things like gunshots when people have been hunting far away from the area, and sometimes you'll hear like alarm calls and things like that. I wonder if you guys can see this. It's really impressive. I'm sorry,
oh yes, let's have a look.
Can you see it?
Oh my goodness, yes, totally. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. That's also not a chimp. It's a rocket.
Yes,
that's fabulous.
With chimps, but it's not every day you just sit there and there's a rocket going on.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Well. Oh my goodness, guys. Let's give them a couple more balls while we're marveling at the fact that we just got to watch a rocket.
Yeah.
Your next number is B8.
B8. Okay. Okay. What else you got for them?
Your next number is I18. I18.
I18. Wonderful. Oh, and by the way, folks, don't forget, if you're having your cocktails while you play bingo, that's great, but don't forget to get a little water in there too. Yeah. Yeah, cocktails and water, lots of it. And if you're in the Florida area, you might want to step outside. That's quite a view. Yeah, that is really
it's getting crazier as I'm standing here. The different stages are going up. My son is hiding behind a plant back there because he doesn't want to be on the camera, but he's super.
Well, as long as he gets to see the rocket, that's the important part. Oh, Ima, let's get another number in there, Ima.
And your next ball is I25.
I25, everybody. I25. Give him one more, Ima.
And your next ball is I20.
I20. Very cool.
So I had a couple more questions.
Sure, but I'm going to get one in too, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Because we were just talking about the special parties and the enrichment that all of the chimps get. Now, of course, I myself am a self-proclaimed primatologist, so I understand. But maybe for our crowd, Andrew, you could talk a little bit about what enrichment is and why it's important for the captive chimps.
Yeah, so as I said, one of the things that we always want to provide is a cognitively stimulating environment, just because chimpanzees are so intelligent like us. And so, in addition to making sure that they're not bored, we also want to make sure that they, that they're able to explore and interact with their environment, because that's so important. I mean, think of how much you interact with your environment every single day. Chimpanzees have similar needs to that. So that's why, one of our big goals is that really robust enrichment program.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's so important. You hear anybody with any kind of captive animal, whether it's chimps or not, and the most important thing is they have to fight boredom, because a captive animal does not get to do their regular activities. Yes. And we can see, so, and a good example of enrichment would be like a rocket going off, because it stimulates you and you get to watch things. And that's so much fun. Yeah, you think about all the things that are going on in our world. Oh, I'm going to give them another number.
Okay, your next number is N31.
N31. Wonderful, wonderful.
Your next number is N35.
N35. So we got the end going. That's great. We got the end going. Okay.
So one
Yes,
question. So Andrew, with you being in Florida and the chimps being on islands, what about alligators?
Yeah.
I don't think they wrestle alligators. No.
we have them. The idea is if we ever encounter what we would consider a nuisance gator, we would need to call our Fish and Wildlife and have them removed. But by and large, the alligators don't mess with the chimps, and the chimps don't mess with the alligators. Alligators kind of get a bad rap, and they're pretty lazy guys that just kind of like to float around. But occasionally they do something really scary, and that's always cause for concern. But and if we ever had someone that was a real nuisance gator, we would then deal with that. We would call the proper people to come get the alligator removed.
So, do you have people who try to boat to the islands?
Oh, yes.
No, so each island, it's technically a peninsula. The islands are all connected by land bridge to the chimp house, and so that's how we get out there. We've got a big gate that leads to the island that we call the Jurassic Gate because it looks like Jurassic Park.
We have one of those types at Project Chimps too.
Yeah.
We play the theme music every time they slowly open. Yes.
So each island has that, and we do have kayaks available should we need to access the island by water in case of emergency. If we had a chimp struggling or something like that, we have that. But by and large, we access it by land bridge.
Oh,
and have you guys had hurricanes come through there?
Oh yes. So we've got a whole hurricane protocol, our protocol is once we go into a hurricane warning, we enter in what's called ride out crew, and it's myself and whatever staff I can finagle into also staying there so that we can get the chimps fed and medicated during the storm. The worst one since I've been here that we've had was a hurricane called Irma. That one that we had a little bit of damage there, not too bad. We had a lot of flooding, but even during the worst of it, I did rounds during just to make sure everyone was okay, and most of the chimps were sleeping. We have a chimp named Capone who's this real cool, like, kind of tough guy, and he likes to sleep, and he was sleeping in the hammock, and I walked up to him just to make sure he was okay, and he just opened one eye and looked at me like I was disturbing him, so I got out of there.
Oh dear, that's fabulous. Let's give him a couple more balls so we can hear some more of these stories. This is fabulous.
Your next ball is N44.
N44, wonderful. We've given them all the N's by now, I think. Let's give them another.
Your next ball is B5.
B5. Oh,
let's
lovely.
One more.
Yeah, let's do one more.
And your next ball is N33.
N33. Okay. Well, now, Andrew, I had a specific thought that I wanted to talk about, especially for the sake of our viewers. Now, I know that your sanctuary, as well as Project Chimps, has just gone through the efforts of bringing some more chimps into the sanctuary, because that's really our goal for both sanctuaries, is to get all of these chimps that are not in good places to our sanctuaries where we can hopefully do better for them. But it's quite a thing, isn't it? I wanted to talk about what an effort our sanctuaries have to go through just to get the chimps where they need to be into their hopefully forever homes.
Yeah, we've had a really crazy few weeks here. It started when I received a call from someone from PETA saying that they had found a chimpanzee named Tonka, who you may have read about in the news, that people have been looking for a few years now. He was a previous entertainment chimp that had ended up as a pet, and this woman had claimed that he died, but PETA didn't believe that, and they found him alive. He was living in this woman's basement. She was saying that she was going to euthanize him, so he was slated to go to Center for Great Apes, but they couldn't take him right now, so we literally, in the span of a few hours, got a van and drove up to Missouri into Lake of the Ozarks. So if you've watched the show, it's very, very similar. and we there were federal marshals there, and we picked up this chimp, and Tonka is with us now, and we're going to work with Center for Great Apes to figure out what's best for Tonka, but he's acclimating pretty well right now. And then on the heels of that, we've been the Wildlife Way Station, which I'm sure you're familiar with, because Project Chimps has been pretty active in this as well. There was a place in California that went defunct a couple years ago, and there were 42 chimpanzees in need. We were fortunate enough to be able to take 7 of them, so we flew them by FedEx last week, and so they are all here and acclimating really well, and so it's an exciting time. So we are going to I heard you talking about quarantine before, so they're in their quarantine right now, all of them, and once they get out of quarantine, we'll start an introduction process, and we have an island we think is going to be very good for them to go to, and we'll start our introduction process from there. So not only has it been an exciting last few weeks, it's going to be an exciting few months ahead as we get these chimps onto an island and socialized with a group and watch them be able to have 24-hour access to their big island habitats. I mean, other than that, Wildlife Way Station, they didn't have grass. It was all concrete. So they're just at this point just getting used to grass in their quarantine yards. But even watching that, one of the funny things though is Tonka it's such a smarty, and we have a chimp named Cheetah who's in special needs, and Cheetah does these when he wants you to come over, he does these raspberries, and they're very, very pathetic. They are these please come over here, and I mean he's the only chimp I've ever heard make a raspberry like that. And I walked out of the kitchen today, and I heard that thinking it was Cheetah, and Cheetah was nowhere around. Tonka has completely mimicked his sound. So it's been exciting to watch them come into their own. So.
Desperation raspberries. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. Now, Ima, did you know you could FedEx a chimp? I guess that's probably better than using USPS. They lose everything.
Well, I wanted to know, did they get a meal in a movie?
No. Oh, yeah, right? Yes. Probably, Planet of the Apes, I would assume.
Yeah, that's so. We had one of our vets and one of our curators flying with them, and they said it was definitely not like flying commercial.
No, I imagine. Well, Danner Chimp over at Project Chimps, he likes the movies too, and he likes the ones with chimps in them. In fact, he likes to just sit there and rub his toes and watch them. Very unusual behavior.
It's probably like flying on Sprint airlines.
Yes, yeah, they went. Yeah, they didn't get.
By Sprint.
Right. I hope the chimps didn't have to pay for each carry-on item. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Now, I'm
actually donated that trip, so we're very, very. I should say that right now. We are very, very grateful to that.
Yes. FedEx was great with that, and that is wonderful. Even though we're making fun of them, we really do appreciate them getting those chimps to you. That's great.
Yeah, and they went off without a hitch, and it would have taken us 42 hours to drive the chimps from LA to Fort Pierce, Florida, and instead it took 7 hours. So
that's fabulous.
So,
well, 42 hours, not counting all the stops you would need to make with chimps on board, right? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give us a couple more balls, and then we're gonna talk about a similar story with Project Chimps. Yeah.
All right. Next ball is I-28.
I-28. Your
next ball is G60.
G60.
And your next ball is 071.
071. Okay. Well, there's a few for you. Now, Andrew, I just wanted to parallel your story with what's going on at Project Chimps, because we also recently were able to bring 2 new groups over to Project Chimps from the New Iberia Labs over in Louisiana, where our chimps are coming from, because they too are not really prepared to have chimps long term, and they're not getting to see the open sky and the dirt and the grass either. So we're bringing them over. We've had 2 groups just come over recently. Now, Megan knows that I'm pretty. Oh, there's Prince. He's from one of the male groups that just came over. Megan knows I'm pretty accurate with this. But if I miss anything, Megan, I'm sure you'll jump in and help me out. Now, we actually truck them. We have a special transport truck to move the chimps. And of course, they need constant attention from caregivers and staff to make sure that their trip is going well, too. I know that our drivers have said they particularly enjoy when they have to make a fuel stop and they're at a gas station. And of course, the chimps in the back are, as chimps do, making quite a bit of noise. And the other folks at the station are always baffled. But it is quite an endeavor. And that is why we had our walk like a chimps to raise some money for the costs of just moving chimps from one place to another. Because, you know, we talk about our sanctuaries. And I know all you folks that are watching think about it and think, well, those chimps, you know, at Project Chimps, at Save a Chimps, oh, you've got to do a lot for them. We do. But part of it is just getting them there in the first place. It's quite a challenge, and it can be quite expensive. And of course, we want to make it as little traumatic as possible for the chimps, which is, you know, difficult because, you know, even for us, a car trip can be a bit much. So we want to make sure that the chimps have the best possible experience we can pull off. And so, again, I just have to say, don't forget, it's not too late to donate to Walk Like a Chimp campaign, or just send your money, large quantities of it, to Project Chimps and Save a Chimp. And help us make sure all of these chimps like Tonka and Prince, all the new girls and boys at both locations, make sure that they've got everything they need to acclimate, that we're making sure that their medical is in the best possible care, and that we're creating just wonderful enrichment for these guys. Because we want to see them really settle in. We want to see that stress come off of them from traveling, from being in a less than favorable area. So just I want to point that out. And why don't you give us one more ball and we can throw it back to Andrew to talk a little bit about that as well.
Is Prince's favorite color purple?
I think so, right? He was in the purple room. He was in the purple room. What do you think, Ima? What's our next ball?
Your next ball is I-23.
I-23. Let's give him one more.
Your next ball is G-53.
G-53. Okay, well, Andrew, so was there anything else you would like to add about this just difficult process of not only identifying the needs of the chimps and meeting them, but just physically and logistically dealing with chimps, getting them to a location, handling them every single day?
Yeah, it's a true science. And I think, you know, I think a mistake people make is to think that, well, it's, you know, a sanctuary chimps can, you know, they'll come, they'll run out into these vast areas, and that's it. Then you throw some bananas and everyone's good. But there really is a science to it. Chimpanzees are incredibly complex. They have needs that need to be met, and they have there's limitations in captivity that as care technicians we need to overcome, and that's what we need to do for our chimps. So there is a true science to it. And as your amazingly talented staff at Project Chimps deal with every day, and our talented staff at Save the Chimps, you know, I always think, you know, wouldn't it be a lot less stress if we could just have a llama sanctuary? But we don't. And so chimps have you know, they're incredibly difficult, and but it sure is rewarding when you can see a chimp like Tonka, you know, start coming just in days, come to his own. Another fun Tonka story is coming from the basement. He did not make a peep on the 22-hour drive from Ozark, Missouri to Fort Pierce, except one time our head vet, Dr. Val, came with us, and she had a Coke, and she opened it and went shh, and he went, oh, because all he wanted was that Coke. That was the only
Have a Coke and a smile, Tonka. Oh, that's wonderful. And the Sunrise 7 were the ones that you just flew in, right?
Yeah, that's them. That's them.
Oh,
and
look at
we're
those
getting
kitties.
to know them, and they've got a great personality, and and we'd gone up. I had gone up and observed them to just really make sure that Save the Chimps was the right place for them a few months ago, and got to know them pretty well in California, and they've just been great.
And it's really amazing when you look at that picture, and you can see the eyes of so many of them. There's just so much going on in there. You can just tell. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. And that's why we don't have a llama sanctuary, because chimps are just fascinating and complicated and lovely. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And I know that's why all of you out there are here to support us, because you know that chimps are so important. All wild animals should be treated with respect, but these poor chimps that have been in captivity for a while, they deserve a little extra, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of extra, let's give a couple extra balls, shall we?
Your next ball is 066.
066, everybody. 066.
Your next ball is G47.
G47. Let's give them another one, because we're getting late. We've gone over our time, but we want to make sure somebody wins this.
Your next ball is B9.
B9, everybody.
Oh,
B9.
by the way, what is the prize for this game?
What is the prize for this game? That's a good question, Miss Holly. I think we forgot to mention that.
Yes, we did.
Maybe that's why nobody has spoken up with a bingo. They want to see if they're getting the right prize first. So, it's the Chimp Tote. Chimp.
Ah.
Yes, it's our Chimp Tote. It's like we're an NPR station. You get a tote bag. And they are fabulous. I have a couple myself. I have to carry my pith helmet in something, and that just makes it easier. So you can win that tote, or you can purchase that tote if you don't win. Give them a couple more, would you?
Your next ball is G46.
G46, everybody. G46. And one more, please.
And your next ball is 074.
074. We'll give you guys a chance to catch up in case maybe you have a bingo you haven't realized yet. Make sure you check all of your cards. Those numbers should be right above. And while you're doing that, and then we will finish up if anybody needs a few numbers, I just wanted to thank Dr. Halloran for the fantastic stories about Save the Chimps and about all those wonderful chimpanzees in the wild over in Sierra Leone. And Dr. Halloran, is there anything else you would like to add about the wonderful work you're doing, or anything at all, really?
No, it's great to be here, and always such a wonderful time with Project Chimps, and everyone's always such a nice host as well. There's a website if you're interested in learning about the project in Africa. It's tonkalilichimpanzeeproject.com, all one word. I wonder if I can text that.
We can probably put that in our comments section, couldn't we?
Okay, yeah. So it's I can private chat it to Megan here.
Yes, yeah, we'll get that to Megan. So any of you that are interested, and I do recommend learning more about Tonkalili, we'll have that in the comment section in just a little while, so you'll have that link. Of course, you can also go to savethechimps.org. And I believe they highlight a lot of what Dr. Halloran does on their website as well. So I'm sure you can find the link there as well and learn more about Save the Chimps. Now it's on the comments section if you want to go directly and check it out. And Dr. Halloran, thank you so much. And thank you to Gertie for saying hi to everybody as well. Hopefully we'll have you back soon, because we like guests with good stories about chimpanzee.
And anytime. So thanks, everyone. And I hope someone wins this game. So
yeah, somebody will. Thank you, Andrew. Let's get some numbers out there for our guests, so we can get a winner.
Next number is B2.
B2, everybody. B2.
Your next number is N45.
N45. Anybody close? We're going to keep going because we know it's time to get this wrapped up. So let's get another one.
Your next ball is N32.
N32. N32, everybody.
Oh, we got a winner.
And we've got a winner, which is good because I just crashed.
Oh.
So maybe you could pull me up on your StreamYard.
Hello,
everybody. Oh, look, I'm still showing through my camera. It just doesn't show on my screen. So that's good. I hope you all can hear me. Can you hear us? Are we coming through on the thing? If not, maybe we need to take that off.
Okay.
Can you hear us at all, folks?
All right, try that one.
Can you hear us now? We had a little snafu here right at the end. I guess my computer's getting tired, but we do have a winner, and that's wonderful. And here comes Holly to help us out. So thank you very much to our winner. Her name was?
Sarah Binkowitz from...
Sarah! Congratulations, Sarah. We're so glad to hear that you won. Congratulations. And we loved hearing about your award at work, too. So thank you, Sarah, for being a constant fan of Project Chimps. We hope you enjoyed everything tonight. And I'm going to turn it over to Holly so she can tell us about everything. Come back over
Yeah,
here.
thank you for playing. And I think we didn't lose you, Jolene. You were still there, and you held
Well, that's good.
You held the show fine. Thank you for playing. And there was a tote, was I think the prize for this
Yes.
last game.
Yes, our
And
wonderful tote.
thank you all for showing up. And we had a great time with Dr. Halloran. And we'll see you next time, next month. Same back
Thank you.
channel
Wonderful.
or banana channel. Yes.
Thank you all for
Thank
going
you
over
for
time with us. We really enjoyed Dr. Halloran. We hope you did too. See you next month. Woo!
Bye.
Finish your cocktails. Good night.